Hey, how's it going, guys? Ricky Summer here, and today I've come back in time to give you a tour of my home studio. Cue the intro. And welcome to the studio. Engage the mini-map. Hopefully this effect works. We're going to start with the desk, which is, oddly enough, a little bit messier than it normally is, just because I've tidied up all this, so there's a little more on the desk. So we've got, where do we start? Okay, two monitors. We've got an LG ultra wide. It's just I think the 24-inch. It's 1080p, so it's not a big one. It's the smallest ultra wide you can get. But it's nice for productivity. I admit, a monitor died and I had to get a new monitor, and I got an ultra wide because I wanted to play Elite Dangerous on an ultra wide, and that's very cool. But for the sake of streams and recording videos and whatnot, I tend to now play it on the main monitor. This is just an AOC. Who knows? It's an AOC discontinued model. As you can see, it's surrounded with LED lights. Why? Well, buddy, I'll show you. So that I can get a little bit of light on my face there. It works. It does work, but I think I've decided that I don't necessarily need them, so maybe I'll repurpose them elsewhere. The microphone, my pride and joy. This is a Rode NT USB. I can't recommend it enough. It sounds great, in my opinion. It requires very little treatment. I don't have any effects on it when I'm streaming. I think it just sounds pretty darn good. And you can see on the other side, this is a Rode boom arm, the one that everyone uses. On the other side, we've got LEDs, which, as you can see in the mini map here, they just look pretty friggin' cool on camera. And it just adds a little bit of, you'll notice in particular. I mean, why am I showing you on the phone here? You can see it on the webcam feed, but it adds a nice sort of just general bloom, I guess, to the bottom of the screen. Anyway, I like it. The webcam is real simple. It's just a Logitech C920. The one that everyone has. You can't beat it for the price. I've just got I've just got a lamp to sort of generally illuminate my face when I'm on camera. We've got the PS4 controllers. I actually owned a PS4 controller before I owned a PS4. I just like them. I actually really hate the Xbox layout. I've always preferred PlayStation controllers in general. So that's where they go. And the PS4 is down there connected to the Elgato, HD60 Pro or whatever, the PCI Express one, which is great. I love that thing. It's like I can play the PlayStation in the OBS feed. There's zero latency whatsoever. It's great. We've got the Stream Deck here, which is currently on the OBS recording page.
Greetings.
Little bit of greetings there for you. These are the headphones that you see in all my videos. These are KOS KPH30i headphones. I bought them because they look retro and 80s, of course, but they're also just pretty darn good for their size. I like them. They're comfortable. I can wear them for hours on end, and they don't hurt my ears or fatigue me in any way. These are my sunglasses, my aviators. If you watch the stream, you'll know why I have 3 pairs of them here for the Gear Up reward redemption. I've got over here in the graveyard of controllers, in addition to the DualShock 4s, I've got an 8-bit DOE SN30 Pro Plus. This thing is great. If you're after just a general generic controller for PC, I can't recommend this enough. It feels great. I actually might even prefer the resistance, the feel of the thumbsticks, the analog sticks to even the DualShock 4s. It's great. I love it. And it looks retro-y. The Logitech, this one's a mouthful, Logitech Extreme 3D Pro joystick. This is a recent acquisition. I used to use the Attack 3. I've had this for, God, it has to be close to 10 years, and it's still going strong. I love this thing. But this boy right here has a much better feeling throttle, and it's got twist rudder. So, of course, I use that for Elite Dangerous and X4. This bad boy over here, the Arturia, we're getting to the music now, Arturia Mini Lab Mark II. It's just a MIDI keyboard, a MIDI controller, which means that it doesn't make any sound on its own. It's just like this thing here. It's like a keyboard. It just tells the computer what sounds to make. And I like this one because it is small. I think it's really important to have something on your desk that's within an arm's reach, that you can just go boom and start playing something. If you have a melody in your head or chords, whatever. I love having something small and easy, quick to use, just on the desk. And this actually feels remarkably good. Usually with these small, cheap MIDI controllers, the keys feel horrible. This one's quite good. This one, I think the keyboard here, this is like, what, 150 bucks maybe? Less. I think the keyboard on this feels a lot better than on my $600 Roland actual synthesizer here, which is a little bit sad, but that's the way that goes. Continuing on with music, this is the Scarlett 18i8. It's an audio interface, and there's some hair and dust there. It's an audio interface, which is essentially, how do I explain this? It replaces the sound card of your computer. So you plug it in via USB typically, and it converts analog audio into digital audio to be sent to your digital audio workstation. There you go. This thing is great because it's solid, it's metal construction. So I've taken this to gigs and it's held up fine. It's got 4 inputs at the front, 4 at the back, and it's got 2 headphone outputs, which is great. If you're mixing with a friend or tracking with someone else, whatever. Connected to that, we've got these ancient things here. Shure SRH 440s. They're great. And they're falling apart. They're clearly well loved. When these die, honestly, I'll probably just get an identical pair. They're still very much considered an industry standard as far as I can tell. And they're the exact same price now as when I purchased them like 10 years ago, more. I've added softer ear cups because they were more like, I don't know what you call it, vinyl-y, maybe. I actually can't remember what quality the original ear cups were. It's been a little while. But they were, they made my ears sweat and they hurt after a little while. These ones, which I just picked up online, are much nicer, more comfortable. There you go. Okay. On the way to the other headphones, we've got the Keytar. It's a Korg RK100S. I love this thing. It's great. Maybe I'll pull it out later. I'll show you. Though you've seen it in videos already. Moving up here, we've got AKG K92s right there. As you can see, they're butchered. Why? Because they broke. Honestly, I'm not sure I can in good conscience recommend these ones. It seems to be pretty common for them to break in the way that they broke for me, which is one ear cup essentially dies. So the left side still works, the side that has the cable in it, but the right side stopped producing sound at all. And I found out why. A wire came loose inside there. I pulled them apart to try and fix them. So I tried to solder that back in, but it didn't fix it. So maybe there's a loose wire in this side as well. So what I ended up doing was taking the ear cup off entirely, as you can see, and I'm just going to use them for tracking. That means wearing them while I'm recording vocals, for example. Usually when I'm recording vocals, I'll slip one side off anyway, so I can hear myself a little better. So that's what these are for now, and that's fine. What I found really interesting was I always wondered how they got the signal from one side to the other. Like, I thought, do they send wires through these things? Are these hollow somehow? Nope. They actually are the conductors. So if you have a look in there, those bands, those gold bands, that's what's conducting. So that's kind of wild. Music stand. This is the script for We Will Rock You, which is a musical that I am the musical director for right now. That's been postponed until late next year because of Corona and all that, which is very sad. I very much enjoyed working on that, but that's on hold for now. Let's head on over to the microphone, which I've had forever. It's a Rode NT1A. It's an XLR condenser, which means it requires phantom power, which this provides. And it's pretty darn good. I think by default, the recordings come out just a tiny little bit flat, but that's nothing that a little EQ can't fix. I would be interested to try other microphones. I would like to collect some more microphones. I think it is important to match the microphone to the specific kind of voice, and maybe this one isn't necessarily for me, but I get by. Behind it, you'll see the monitors, the speakers. KRK Rocket 5s. I was going to say RK100S. That's the keyboard, the keytar, my guy. These things are great. They're pretty cheap. They look striking, and they sound great. My only problem with them is they have a power saving feature. So if there's no signal going through them for like 30 minutes, they'll turn off, which is freaking annoying. I wish they would just trust me to save power on my own, so turn them off when I'm not using them. But no, apparently we can't be trusted to do that. So they turn themselves off when you're not using them, which is really annoying, because then what I have to do is, when I want to use them again, I have to turn the volume up really loud just so that they go, yep, okay, you want to use them. Alternatively, I could turn them off and on again. It's a bit obnoxious, but, you know, that's how it goes. Okay. Let's look at these babies here. So this one here was my very first synthesizer, hardware synthesizer. It's a Roland JDXi, and it's a little bit of jack of all trades, master of none. It's essentially like a groove box, which means it's got drums, it's got 2 software synthesizers, and it's got a proper analog, which is quite simple, but, you know, still that's nice to have. It's proper, real analog synthesis. It can do a lot of different things. I would say nothing super well. You know what? With the exception of the drums, the drums sound remarkably good, and it's got a sequencer. So this is a 4-track groovebox sequencer synthesizer, so I can actually create little grooves with it. It's really hard to create full songs because switching between tracks does have a tendency to cause the track to skip a beat and actually lose time transitioning, which is really annoying. So that's really not great for live performance. But like I said, it can do a lot of different things, and some of those things it does quite well. Over here is my next acquisition after this. I got this earlier this year, I think. This is the Electron Model Samples, and this is also a groove box, but not a synthesizer. It's a sample player, not a sampler, so you can't actually sample sounds onto it. You actually have to like record them elsewhere and drag them over using the computer or whatever. But it's still fun. It's got a lot of cool performative features, and it's clearly dusty, so I need some sort of cover for it. It's got this, for example, this chance knob, which allows you to essentially set a step in the sequence to trigger a certain percentage of times, or only the first time or the second time, third time, etc. You can set all these parameters so that you can take a regular, what is that? I think it's a 64-step pattern. Is that right? Or is it less than that? I can't remember. It could just be, it's 16 times, is it 32? It might be 32. Anyway, whatever it is, you can make the sequence sound longer than it actually is by having essentially a random chance for something to trigger or not trigger. It's also got connected to that a fill feature, so you could just set your drums going, keeping time, keeping the groove going, and then you say, hey, yo, here, I want to fill. Boom, you hold that, does a little fill, and then it doesn't do it again until you press the button, which is really cool. So that's great for like setting up just basic grooves and whatnot. The thing that I miss the most from this, like that this doesn't have that I wish it did, was the ability to bend notes. It doesn't do that, which is a shame, but that's okay, because this thing can do that. This thing is my latest acquisition, and I love it, and I'm incredibly sad that I haven't had more time to play with it. It's a Yamaha Reface DX. So it's a remake of the old DX FM synthesizer. It's a proper FM synth, a little less comprehensive compared to the original. The original had, I think, 6 operators, is that right? This one only has 4. But it's still pretty cool, and I love it. It's the classic sound of the 80s. And it's surprisingly solid. Like, this small thing here is heavier and better built than this big thing here. This one feels hollow. This boy here is solid. And I got a deck saver with it as well, because I want to protect it. It's just, there's a company called Deck Saver that just makes these for synthesizers and whatnot. They're perfectly molded to the specific synth. Just saves them from dust or smashing the keys or whatnot. Anyway, I love this thing. I can't wait to use more of it. I had intended for 2020 to be the year that I do more live performance. Well, look where that went. Okay, here's my Skateboard. The old deck, which, again, I haven't really had a chance to use lately. I got it for my birthday last year, so that's late October last year. And I've barely used it, which is sad. I skated a little tiny bit when I was a kid, but it was long enough ago that I basically have to start from square one and teach myself all over again. We'll get there. It's something I really desperately want to do. I don't want to do tricks. I just want to get around, I want the feeling of being able to get from point A to point B on some wheels. Over here's my whiteboard, where I write little reminders and also sometimes write lyrics. This is my mantra. Who have you inspired today? That's what I'm trying to live my life by these days. Regardless of what's going on in my life, how shit the day may be, I aspire to every day inspire someone to follow their dreams or do something, anything. Have fun, be happy. That's what I want. That's what I want my life to be. Okay, so over here we've got the video games. We've got PS4 games, some Switch games, and a DeLorean, which actually functions. Look at that. How good is that? It's just I get way too excited about that. Over here are the ear cups, or the right ear that I took off the AKGs. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know, it doesn't seem like the sort of thing that I want to throw out. Maybe press it into service as something else or a prop or something. I don't know, I'll think about it. Over here we've got my very first TV. The first TV that I owned, personally, as a kid. It's black and white. Yes, I can plug, like, old school consoles into it. Right there. I like it because it's retro-y. I might use it for something, again, a prop or something. Patch cables for connecting my synths and whatnot. Batteries, pocket knife. Personal recorder. So when I'm out and about and I need to record something, we'll use that. Printer, that's not exciting. Modem. Wall of old and discarded tech. So I've got my old Windows phone up there. A couple of legitimate cassette players. Boxes that I haven't thrown out because I'm a horrible person. We've got back here a Lego DeLorean, which I would love to build one day, but I'm also kind of reluctant to take it out of the box. A shitty phone VR headset that I've used once and never again because I hate it, and I might actually hate VR, or maybe I just hate phone VR, I don't know. This is the stand that came with the microphone, the NT USB, that I don't really use because I got the boom arm. The PlayStation 2, my very first console, and the greatest console ever made. Back to the wall of joysticks. So you've seen the Logitech Attack 3. I've also got the Thrustmaster, what is it, T16000M FCS HOTAS, whatever the fuck it's called. It's a ridiculous name. It's okay. I see why a lot of people like it. For the price, it's like the best you can get for that price. It's not as shitty and cheap as the base level, like $50 Thrustmaster HOTAS. It's not amazing. You know, the throttle is already broken, sort of. Not like broken to the point where it's useless, but there's a couple of knobs and whatnot that just kind of don't really work very well anymore. And I've barely used it, which I don't love. It's alright. I know I make people mad whenever I talk about the Thrustmaster, because everyone seems to love it, and I'm just like, I get it, but like, I don't love it. I mean, it's telling that it's up there, and I'm over here using the Logitech, which again is not perfect. Nothing is perfect, unfortunately, but I generally prefer using that. Water to keep myself hydrated, and purple, baby. And that is mostly pretty much it. My degree, because I am educated. Oh, guitar. This is an Ibanez, or an Ibanez, I don't know. Alright, hear me out. So, I've always heard it pronounced Ibanez, but then I watched Starship Troopers, and that character is called Ibanez, and it's spelled the same name, so I'm like, hey, maybe it's Ibanez. I don't know. Anyway, this was my very first guitar, the one that wasn't a hand-me-down. My first and only electric. It's really versatile. It's generally considered to be like a metal guitar, but it's just versatile and it's great, and you can use it for all sorts of things. This is an ancient Fender amplifier. It's the Pro 185, inherited from my father, and it's amazing. This thing in this room cannot go quiet enough. I mean, just look where the gain is set. That's where I use it, and it's still too loud. It's friggin' huge. I love the sound. Playing this thing makes me... Alright, so look, if you're a guitarist, you'll know that there's this sort of mystique around tube amplifiers. This makes me not want a tube amp. It's just that good. It sounds that good. The crunch, the overdrive on it is beautiful. I love it. Anyway, it's so good. I wouldn't want anything else. We've got the Maton acoustic guitar down there, which I use on the reg when I'm teaching and whatnot, especially. It's great. It sounds great. It's nice. It's like a happy place having that on my lap. My bag, which I love way too much because it's got compartments for everything that I need, and it holds my laptop, and it's good. Why am I showing you my bag? That's not interesting. We've got another little amp here, just a Marshall sort of practice amp. It's alright, doesn't sound great. Again, hand-me-down, it's old. That's the theme of this room. Everything's old and or cheap, and that's fine. You don't need, like, super expensive gear. The computer. rat's nest down there. This, believe it or not, is actually cably managed. It's cable managed to a certain degree. Yes, I could do a better job with this. I know, I can hear you weeping right now. I could do a better job with this. It's going to take a lot of work to do a better job with it because it's a sit-stand desk. It has to accommodate, it has to have a little bit of slack. Let's stop looking at that. It's making me sad. Anyway, that's the studio, guys. I don't think I missed anything. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. This is my little home. This is where I live. Isn't that beautiful? Looking, piercing the veil, looking in on the other side. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to gently caress that like button. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Hey, yo! Now you know where I get my glasses from. They're right there, dude. Piercing the veil. Okay. I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer. Out.